Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. For task 2 for this course GPPP1092, we are going to present about educational aspirations and direction in the 21st century.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and I greet to the lecturer, Ms. Rosie. My name is Damian Nur Christina binti Dullah.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Iman.
Hello, my name is Joe Frederick Anak Sigi. Alright, let's begin with the introductions. First, I will tell you the objective of this presentation. This presentation will evaluate the aspirations and directions of Malaysia's education and analyze its implication for teachers. Firstly, the Ministry of Education (MOE) play a vital role in ensuring quality education in Malaysia. To achieve this goal, the MOE implemented several guidelines and policies that set up the standard of the education qualities. The Malaysian Education Quality Standard or Standard Quality Pendidikan Malaysia (SKPM) became the guideline used in the management of teachers and school leadership towards better quality education.
Next, we are going to discuss about aspiration and direction of education in Malaysia. There are 5 of these. The first one is access, the second one is equity, and the third one is efficiency, and the fourth one is equality, and the last one is unity. So let's get started. Education should be accessible to every child, regardless of their background. The principle of the democratization in education ensures that all students, regardless of their socio-economic status, ethnicity, or geographic location, have the right to quality learning opportunities. The government's goal to achieve 100% school enrollment across all levels, ensuring that no child is left behind in their educational journey. To support this vision, initiatives have been put in place to help students from disadvantaged backgrounds. Financial aid programs, school infrastructure improvements, and motivational programs ensure that every child receives the resources that they need to succeed. Schools also play a vital role in ensuring that students have the freedom to choose their field of study based on their interests and strengths. Access to education is not just about attending school. It is about receiving a quality education that enables students to build a better future. By removing the barriers and providing equal opportunities, we not only uplift individual students, but also contribute to a more educated, skilled, and competitive society. An inclusive education system is key to national development, allowing every child to unlock their full potential and achieve success. Equity in education goes beyond simply providing equal resources to all students. It ensures that every student receives the specific support where they need to succeed. While equality treats all students the same, equity recognizes that some students face greater challenges due to their socio-economic status, location, or learning abilities, and therefore require additional help. One of the biggest barriers to education is financial difficulty. Students from low-income families often struggle to afford basic school supplies, transportation, and other learning resources. To address this, government initiatives such as financial aid programs, the Poor Student Trust Fund, KWAMP, and various scholarships help bridge the gap. Additionally, students in rural areas may have limited access to quality education due to a lack of infrastructure. So, improving schools in these areas is crucial for ensuring equitable learning opportunities. Equity also means providing support for students with different learning needs. Some students may require additional guidance, remedial classes, or specialized programs to help them keep up with their peers. When we ensure that all students receive the necessary resources and support, we empower them to reach their full potential. By reducing the achievement gap and providing fair opportunities, we create a more just and inclusive education system where no student is left behind. In the long run, equity in education leads to a stronger, more capable society where success is determined by effort and ability, not by circumstances beyond a student's control.
Now, for the third point, which is unity. One of the goals of the fifth aspiration is to create unity among students. This is because students spend nearly a quarter of their time during age 7 to 17 at schools. This means that schools has become a place for students to share their experiences together, which can form the foundation for unity. School should start fostering the value of unity at an early age. This is because at around age 7 to 12, many students have yet to develop certain prejudicial thinking toward people from different backgrounds. This means they have yet to fully grasp the concept of discriminations and racism. Therefore, school should put more focus in forging the unity value in order to shape the young minds of these students.
Quality refers to effectiveness of teaching, learning, and the overall education's experience in developing students' knowledge, skills, and character. Which means, in this education system, we are not just working for smart students, but also having students with a good soft skill and hard skill, and also a good personality. And there is five key aspects in quality for education. First is the curriculum excellence. You need to know between the difference between curriculum and co-curriculum. So curriculum excellence, where a well-structured curriculums that emphasize on thinking skills, problem solving, and adapting real-life problem rather than memorize. Because with these skills, students not just good on paper but also managing problem that need that need them to act. And next is high quality teaching workforce. So not just for students, but we also need a good and quality teachers for our students. So there will be a teachers training and developing programs for teachers to improve their way of teachings or teaching methods, and not just stick to giving them material, just teach. Instead, they learn how to improve their instructional methods, which is this can motivate teachers to perform more in their teaching and can deliver their subjects well to the student. And next is the effective assessment and evaluations, which is not just exam-based evaluations, which is we can monitor students to know their weaknesses at the early stage and to help them slowly and surely based on how they act, how they talk in the classroom, how they behave. So this effective assessment and evaluations can really actually help students to become better and not just judging them based on their marks on exam. And some of people that are doing well in exam doesn't really have a good well in other things. So in this effective assessment, we can make sure that these students are excel in all qualifications. And for the fourth one is the student-centered learning environment. And this method can help students like this usually happen in a smaller class where can improve teachers and students more engaged. Or in a bigger classroom, the student can form small groups, and this can help the teachers to interact to each of the group instead of the teachers have interaction with the whole class, which can make some of the students left out. So this student-centered learning environment can really improve students to motivate them to ask more with the teachers, communicate with the teachers, and also inclusions of extracurricular activities for holistic development. So instead of just studying, we can focus more on their holistic development, for example like sports, art, leadership programs, other than just academics. And lastly is global benchmarking and standard. So with this, with the Malaysian education system, we aligning it with international standard like PISA and TIMSS. So this can have the learning experience like a top performing countries such as Finland, Singapore, and Japan to improve our methodologies. Okay, efficiency in education. So efficiency in education refer to the optimal use of resource, whether some funds, teachers, infrastructure, and technology to achieve the best learning outcomes with minimal waste. So efficiency is we make use of everything we have to produce good education systems in Malaysia. So why efficiency in education matters? First, to prevent resource wastage. As I said before, we make use everything without having wasteful. Like we make this one project and end up with nothing because there is no efficiency in doing the programs. That's why we need efficiencies in education. So next, efficiencies in education. First, we can optimize resource allocations, which is we reduce unnecessary expenditures in educations while prioritize high impact areas such as teachers development and digital learning tools, because this is very good for schools or education system in rural area, because compared to the city, the education systems are very different because the lack of like technology, manufacturers, infrastructure. That is why we optimize resources of educations. We not just allocate the budget to the city school or city's education, but also in the rural area, so that our educations are equal with from the cities or the rural area. Because wherever they are also the students of our country. They are the youths, the futures of our country. Next is global benchmarking and standard. In this 21st century, they already have digital platforms where we can do e-learning, and we does not require physical class much. Which is physical class or resource are very hard to access, especially when you are far from libraries. So with these advantages, we can depend more on internet, where we can get e-books, e-textbooks, and it's really effective for education. So this is where the efficiency in education work. So and for our teachings, we can automations of an administrative task where grading schedule, auto grade can reduce the workload of the teachers. So the teachers can just focus on their teaching instead of worrying other work. Okay, and lastly is teachers' productivity and workload management. Like I said before, we need to make use of everything we have to have a good education system. So by reducing bureaucracy of administrative tasks, like I said earlier before, we use automatic grading for our e-learning, so the teachers can have a flexible schedule and work more on their teaching instead of worrying about grading, giving homeworks, because the main point of the teachers is to make sure to teach their students and not worry about their other work that out of teachings, because we want to produce a good persons by educating them. That's the work of the teachers. Okay, now we've moved on to the implications for teachers, and there are 5 implications for teachers, which is from management, development, skills, vision, and lastly role model.
Now, for the first point for the implication for teachers is in terms of management. The second one is classroom professionalism. Teachers are always needed to maintain a certain degree of professionalism during every teaching and learning session inside of classroom. They also need to maintain this professionalism outside of classroom or anywhere else inside in a school. This can be seen in aspects like the ability to articulate teaching quality and compile learning organizations. Professionalism is important as it gives the teachers the ability to influence the atmosphere inside the classroom. This is because teachers' professionalism can have a very positive impact for the students during learning sessions. Okay, so for the third one is management efficiency. This is important as teachers sometimes have to make do with very limited amount of resources allocated to them. For such efficiency to be achieved, wisdom and thoroughness are essentials in management and supervision of a classroom, guidance during learning process, encouragement when students are practicing, and evaluations once the teaching and learning process is over. This can help improve productivity and avoid wasteful usage of resources.
Okay, I will explain in development and professional growth. So first is continuous professional development, where the teachers are required to keep up to date with the current education system. So the Malaysia Education's Blueprint PPPM 2013 until 2025 emphasize lifelong learning for teachers, where teachers are required to attend workshops, program for them to improve their teaching method and to improve themselves as the educators. And next is emphasize on STEM and TVET education. So the Malaysian government is actively promoting science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which is shortened for STEM subject, for STEM and as a subject. So in this STEM, we need the teachers need to emphasize more on the hands-on learning, where the student learn to coding, making robots, and learn more about science and innovations. Next of integrations of technology in teachings. So as we are moving forward to the modern world, so in education system include the use of technology. So as the teachers, we need to adapt ourselves in technology, and not we cannot refuse technology because we are growth with it. So the rise of digital learning and like e-learning platforms, AI-driven technology, teaching tool, and hybrid classroom that require teachers to develop ICT skills. So for the teachers that are not used to this kind of technology, they need or they must learn about it, because this is actually helpful in learning, because right now we are using a lot of AI, and even our education system use MOE, which is required for you to use it online. Is a website for educations for our country educations. And next is implementations of higher order thinking skill, or well known as HOTS. So these teachers must incorporate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity into their teachings. So the teachers must also learn in a way the student must think in solving the problem. Not only just we deliver the subjects and the student will answer and that's the end of the class. No, the teachers must find any ways for their teaching methods can help students to develop a higher thinking skills. Next and lastly is strengthening character, educations, and value. So the national education philosophy or falsafah pendidikan kebangsaan emphasize holistic student development, which is the teachers not only work on their academic results or their what they learn in class, but also their personality or how they act towards other, how they talk, and how they manage their time. And that is what the teachers should emphasize aside from their academics result. Now I will also explain about essential skills for teachers in Malaysia. So, as a teachers, you need to have pedagogical skills, that is teaching and giving instructions. So, as a teachers, we cannot just know how to teach, but we need to master different types of teachings, like such as problem-based learning, inquiry-based learning, and cooperative learning. Not just we deliver the subjects and the student take it. No, pedagogical skills is the skill that the teachers need to know how to teach in class. And it must be attractive, creative, and good for the student. Next is digital and technology skill, as I explained from the development. The teachers need to have skills on digital and technology, especially for IT, because proficiency in learning management system such as Google Classroom, MOE, Digital Learning, Delima, and Microsoft Teams are widely used in our education system right now. So the teachers need to have skills to use it better. So this will help in efficiency to teach will increase when the teachers know exactly how to use it. And next is communications and entrepreneur skills. As a teachers, we are dealing with people every day. The students are our people, the parents, the school managements. So as a teachers, you need to have a good communication skill and interpersonal skill, because when you communicate, it's a two-way directions of communication. So you need to know how you speak and how to create, encourage the way you speak, how it will project you as a teacher. So, and also the communication and interpretation skills also encourage open discussion and active listening in class. If as a teacher you need to know how you talk and how you want people, how you talk will make people listen, especially in class, because you are managing a class full of, for example, 30 people. So the way you communicate, how you want to attract 30 people for listen to you in the classroom. And lastly is classroom management skills. So you need to have effective discipline strategies while maintaining a positive and supportive learning environment. So as a teacher, it's not a really good characteristic to project if you want to control a class in a very dominant, where people listen to you without you having to shout or to be mad, because that is not a positive learning environment for the student. So you need to have a good skill where you become the leader in class and the student listen to you. That is also a skill that required by teachers, and where many people does not realize about it. It's not just about a teach in class and go out when your time ends, but it's the skill where you teach the students. They need to listen to you. You need to know how to control them, how to take care of them, how to manage them. That is the skill that required to be a teacher.
A clear vision in education is essential for both students and teachers. As educators, we are not only responsible for delivering lessons, but also for shaping this future by preparing students for the challenges of an ever-changing world. This means aligning our teaching methods with the national education vision, which emphasizes quality, inclusivity, and future readiness. To do this, we must set long-term goals that go beyond academics, focusing on critical thinking, problem solving, and character development. A strong vision allows teachers to inspire students to develop their own academic and career goals. By helping students see the bigger picture, we guide them towards success in their personal and professional lives. It is also our responsibility to create a dynamic learning environment that encourages innovation, creativity, and independent thinking. Additionally, as educators, we must commit to lifelong learning, continuously improving our teaching strategies to stay relevant in an evolving education system. By doing so, we ensure that our students receive the best possible education, one that empowers them to succeed in a competitive world. As educators, we are more than just instructors. We are role models who influence students' attitudes, behaviors, and values. The way we act, speak, and handle challenges sets an example for our students to follow, demonstrating qualities such as integrity, responsibility, and respect encourages students to develop these same values. Beyond academics, teachers play a critical role in shaping students' moral and ethical development. We are in a unique position to instill important life lessons such as the value of honesty, perseverance, and empathy. By showing enthusiasm for learning and resilience in overcoming challenges, we inspire students to adopt a growth mindset where they see failures as opportunities to improve rather than as obstacles. Creating a classroom environment that fosters inclusivity and respect is also essential. When students see their teachers treating others fairly and respectfully, they are more likely to replicate these behaviors in their own interactions. Outside of the classroom, our professionalism and conduct in the wider community reinforce our role as positive influences. Ultimately, being a role model means leading by example, not just in what we teach, but in how we live our lives.
Now, we will be moving to the implication for school leaders. First is to work towards making schools the basic to creating a successful member of society and an active contributor to nation's development. Second is to become a leader, mentor, and motivator to teachers, students, and the school staff. Third is to meet the higher expectation set for the school. Fourth is to always be open to new ways of working. Fifth is to involve the society in improving the school quality. Sixth, to carry out duties as mentor and coach to build school staff capabilities. Seventh and last one is to cooperate with PPD to get input for annual performance target. Now, for the final part, we will each have our own summary of this presentation. For me, teachers' roles are not limited to only teaching in a classroom. While the government has introduced policies to improve the education system quality, it is the teachers that put those policies into practice. Therefore, they need to have a solid commitment and strong educator spirit to ensure the best result. Teachers also need to be adaptive and innovative so that they can handle various changes and also create new methods of teaching. Apart from that, they also need to be a good example of role models so that they can create students who are competitive, ethical, and responsible.
Teachers serve as role models by demonstrating positive values such as integrity, responsibility, and respect, which students naturally tend to imitate. Their behavior and attitudes play a crucial role in shaping students' character, guiding them toward ethical and moral development. By showing enthusiasm for learning and resilience in overcoming challenges, teachers can inspire students to adopt a growth mindset. Creating a respectful and inclusive classroom environment also encourages students to treat others with kindness and understanding. Additionally, maintaining professionalism both inside and outside the classroom reinforces the importance of setting a good example, not just for students but also for the wider community. So, in conclusion, teachers play a vital role in shaping the future of education by aligning their teaching with a clear vision, serving as role models, and ensuring students have access to success through equity and inclusivity. A strong vision allows teachers to prepare students for real world challenges, fostering skills like critical thinking and lifelong learning. As role models, teachers influence students' values, attitudes, and behaviors, shaping their moral and ethical development. Ensuring access to education means removing barriers so that every student has the opportunity to learn and grow, regardless of their background. Equity goes a step further by providing additional support to students who need it, ensuring that success is not limited by circumstances. By embracing these principles, teachers can create an inclusive, effective, and future-ready education system that empowers every student to reach their full potential.
In conclusions, teachers plays a vital role beyond just delivering lessons. They are mentors, leaders, and a catalyst for change in education system. So, by aligning their teaching practice with education system that introduced by our governments, which is Malaysia's education system, so educators can ensure effective teaching, holistic student development, and continuous professional growth. So a high quality education system depends on teachers who are committed to lifelong learning, innovations, and ethical leadership. So when teachers embrace this principle, they help shape a generations of students who are not only knowledgeable and competitive but also morally and socially responsible, which is what we are working on to align with where a qualified teachers with our education system. So with the education system right now, not only focus on the student itself or the people that are in educations, but also the management, everything that include in educations, which is include the teachers, to produce a good quality students for our government that can help our future generations later.
So that's all for today's presentation. Thank you for listening.